Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will share with you a very nice hat recipe, the model of which belongs to a famous brand. I want to show you the model closely. Look, it looks like this on our mannequin. It is an incredibly easy recipe. I tried to share with you all the steps, step by step. I hope it will be useful. It is really enjoyable. It is an incredibly beautiful model that you can knit and finish in a few hours. As I said, you can find all the details in the video. Look, I want to show you in detail. It is a very beautiful model. There will be people who remember from before. We worked on this bag with you. Again, I'll add a screenshot of it so you can take a look. You can use it as a set like this. I used Spaghetti Yarn's Slim Cotton Plus yarn for this work. It was really nice for this work. It looks like a mold. I recommend this rope to you. Before moving on to our detailed recipe, I would like to make a small request from you. You can subscribe to our channel for free. I would be really happy if you liked the video and leave your comments. Let's move on to our recipe. I used 2 balls of spaghetti yarn and Slim Cotton Plus yarn for my hat, one in candy white and one in pot blue. These were their original colors. You can make it with the colors you want. Now we will do it with different colors. I would like to share the content of the yarn with you first. Its mixture is 70% cotton, 30% polyester. It weighs 100 grams. It is 150 meters long. Its texture is very nice. It is a very suitable yarn for this type of bag and hat. By the way, I would like to share a nice discount news from Spaghettia for my subscribers. You can complete your shopping with a 10% discount with the 10 codes that you can use for your purchases of 100 TL or more. I would like to thank the Spaghetti Yarny family for this nice discount. Now look, I'm going to use 2 different colors for my hat here. I chose white and the puppy's mouth color here. We're starting with this dark color. We are making a magic ring. If there are beginners among us, how to make a magic ring. I have shared the detailed video before. I will add it to the description section of our video. You can access it by clicking there. By the way, my crochet number will be 3.5 mm. You can determine your own crochet number according to the thinness and thickness of your own yarn and the tightness and looseness of your knitting. Let's create our magic ring right away. While creating the magic ring, we pull 1 chain. This is a chain. We count and complete it to 2, 3. We fill it. We accept a handrail in these 3 chains. We make a loop by sinking into the ring. We have 3 stitches. We fill it. We wrap them together again. We knit them together to create a double handrail. We wrap them again. We sink into the ring and knit a double handrail again. At this stage, if you think I knitted too fast, you can slow down the video, or on the contrary, watch it by speeding it up. We completed 1, 2, 3 handrails with the chain at the beginning. We have a chain in between. We are filling up. We weave 3 double handrails side by sinking into the ring. 1, 2, 3. There is a chain in between. We got around. We are knitting 3 double handrails inside the ring again. Now we are preparing 6 of this handrail group with a chain in between. Now we have prepared 6 triple handrail groups with a chain in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now here we pull the rope that is shorter than the magic ring to the point where we can pull it like this. Let's close the middle part. If you want, you can start at this point by making 5 chains, instead of making a magic ring. Now we pulled the short rope remaining from the magic ring as far as we could and closed the middle part. While finishing, we draw a chain. We sink the 3 chains here into the headspace of the first handrail we knitted without touching them. Since we wanted to hide the short yarn and knit it, we put it on our crochet hook. We remove the loop from this point and slide it from the other loop. At this stage, after making a lock with a chain and lengthening the loop a little, I cut the loop in the middle and remove the yarn from the ball. And I'm tightening the chain here. Look, both ropes are up. Now I'm taking my other color since we're going to move on to the next row. We immediately start by creating a loop with a chain. We created a loop with a chain. We wrapped it around the head of our crochet hook. You can start from any corner you want. You can start from any chain space you want. Look at it this way. There is a chain gap between the groups of 3 between the banisters. I'm sinking. I removed the noose. Since we started by making a chain and then wrapping it around, we have 1 or 2 or 3 loops. I'm filling up again. I knit both together. Without pulling the other 2 stitches, look, I'm taking my short yarn in between so I can knit it by hiding it. I got around. We knit them together again and start with the double handrail. We got around. We knit 3 double handrails in the same space. 2. Fly. Look, I won't be pulling the chain at this point when transitioning between handrails. We will make 2 of these 3 groups in these 1 chain spaces, so we are making an increase. Now I'm pulling a chain. I got around. I come to the same gap and knit 3 double handrails again. 1, 2, 3. I fill up directly. Look, there is no chain. I use a chain between the triple handrails, which I sink into the same space, but I don't use it when switching. I got around. I come to another chain space. Look, I pass the triple banister and come to the gap of 1 chain and repeat the same process here as I did here. First, I knit my triple banister group. I'm pulling a chain. I come to the same gap and knit 3 double handrails again. Look, this is how we make our increases. Now, after knitting 2 groups, look, I do not pull a chain when moving to another chain space. I fill it directly. I pass the triple handrail group and sink into the 1 chain gap in between and knit 3 double handrails. Since I will be working on the same space again, there is a chain in between. We come to the same space and knit 3 double handrail groups again. Look, by doing this to the spaces of a whole chain, we come to the end of the row. We have come to the end of our turn. Look, we created our 6 corners this way. Now we will combine our row. There is no chain between the first handrail. We sink into the headspace of the first handrail, remove the loop and slide it. Now we're going to apply the same increments to this shift point that we applied here. For this, we first use 3 chains while going up. We got around. We come into the gap here and weave 3 double handrails together with the chain. Look, there are 2 or 3 of them along with the chain. We are filling. There is no chain in between. After the transitions, look, I pass the 1 chain triple handrail group here. I come to the 1 chain gap. I knit 3 double handrail groups, 2, 3. While doing the increase here, we did half of it at the beginning. We will do the other half while finishing. I am filling. Look, I am filling the 1 chain gap here. Did we ask about the triple handrail? Look, I'm sinking into that wide gap between the 2 handrails. I sink into this gap and knit 3 double handrails. 1, 2, 3. Now we will make the increases from here. I pull a chain and fill it. Since I will sink into the same space, I come to this space again and knit the triple banister group. Again, look, our increase continues here. Here we made our increase by knitting 2 by 2 in each chain space. Now in the meantime, we will knit the triple handrail group with 1 chain gaps. Now we will establish the increase points at the intersection points. Look, there is no chain when passing between the handrails. We just pull a chain while sinking to the same point. Now we come to a 1 chain space and knit 3 double handrail groups. 2, 3. I'm filling it. I'm sinking into the intermediate space because I'm going to pass directly. Look, we're immediately increasing this space. 3 double handrails. Since we're going to sink to the same point, a chain. 3 double handrails again in the same space. Now look, you'll see it more easily when you hold it in your hand. We're completing our row in this way. We've come to the end. Look, we're starting from the increase point. We have done half of it. Now we will complete it by doing the other half. Look, since we are switching between the handrails, we go directly to the beginning of the crochet hook. The last handrail we knitted. Then we come to the first gap where we started and knit 3 double handrails. 1, 2, 3. See, we have made our increase here. We have made 6 increases again. Now we are drawing a chain. Since we have knitted 2 handrail groups at the same point, we pull one of our chains and do not touch the first 3 chains. We sink to the top of the first handrail we knit, remove the loop and slide it from the other loop. Look, this shift point creates the top gap of the chain. Here, after pulling a chain and tightening it, we stretch our loop a little and move it from the middle part. I cut it. I remove the loop from the ball and tighten the chain point here. Look, we will change the color every 2 rows. Just to start, we knitted the color in this belly in 1 row, the darker color, and then it will change color every 2 rows. During the final finish, We will finish in a row again. Now look again. I make the same start every time. You can start from any point you want by creating a loop with a chain and wrapping it around the beginning of the hook. Meanwhile, look at this. Let's start from the middle part. Let's start from any handrail group. It doesn't matter. You can start from any point you want. Again, on the double handrail. Look, we are starting our start. I knit both together. I also included the short rope. I'm filling up. Look, I'm knitting 3 handrails in the space between the handrail group. 2, 3. There is no increase at this time. We will weave a triple handrail group into each gap and intermediate space. We are filling up. Look, there are no chains in this row. I pass another triple handrail, sink into the gap, and complete my group by knitting 3 double handrails. I'm filling up. Look, I go to the triple handrail point, and a chain gap welcomes me. I sink into this gap and knit the triple handrail group. I fill it, I pass 3 handrails, and sink into the wide gap and knit 3 double handrails. There is no increase in this order. In this way, we knit our triple handrail group to each point and proceed to the point where we started. Now we have come to the end of our turn. Look here, we knitted the triple handrail group in the gap between the last handrail. After the triple banister group, we come back to the point where we started. What am I doing here? I immediately sink to the top of the first railing, remove the loop and slide it from the other loop. I go up with 1, 2, 3 chains and put them around the head of my horse, and I come inside this gap and knit 2 double handrails. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 dots with the chain. I got around. Another look, I'm sinking into the gap. We will pass the triple banister group and always use these spaces. I sink into this gap and knit 3 handrail groups. I'm filling up. I knit the triple handrail group again, and now I'm going to increase at this point. Look, we will increase in this part. 2 groups of 3, 1 increase. We will make 2 groups of 3 and 1 increase. Since I will sink into the same void, I pulled a chain and filled it. I come to the same gap and knit the triple handrail group again. After making our increase point here, I fill it. I pass the triple railing, sink into the wide gap in between and knit the triple railing group. 2. Fly. I knitted the first group. I fill it directly. I sink into the gap again and knit my second group. Look, after the increase, I'm filling up a couple of groups. I will increase again. 3 groups of handrails. There is a chain in between. I fill it, sink into the same space, and knit the triple handrail group. Look, it will continue like this from now on. The increase will be 2 triple handrail groups, side by side. The increase again. The 2 triple handrail groups will increase again. We progress in this way until the end of the row. Here we have come to the end of our row, with an increase at the last point. It will be finished, and there will be 2 triple handrail groups side by side. Now look, when you measure the third part, this will be our peak. In this way, we will obtain the measurement of 15 centimeters. This is the last increase part of the peak that we will do. Now, by proceeding straight ahead, we will have made this flat part of our hat. I want to share this with you right away. Look, when I measured the part from this increase point to the other increase point, I got 15 centimeters. Now this was the last increase we would make at the peak. Now I come to the last point. Look, we have 2 triple handrail groups and a chain in between. While finishing, without touching the 3 chains, we sink to the top of the first handrail we knitted, slide it, tighten a chain and cut the loop here. In fact, when we take the most accurate measurement of the top part, after a row that we will knit now, it will fit more clearly. Because this is an increasing row, it will not be completely hollow when we knit another row. After this row, approximately 17 centimeters is a standard measurement. So, for an adult, it is 17 centimeters. That is, a maximum of 18, maybe 19 centimeters, depending on the size of the head. But generally, the standard is between 15 to 18 centimeters, which is an ideal size of 17 centimeters on average. So this is a hat for adult. If you want to do this for a younger child, you can change the numbers in the starting ring. If you decrease 1, you make 5. If you want to make it bigger, you can make the number 6 into 7 or 8. It doesn't have to be an even number, it can also be an odd number. So if you play with the number of cores, for example, your rope is thin, if it is thinner than the rope I use. If you start with 8 groups instead of 6, you will have a hat with the same number because your automatic thread is thin. If your yarn is thick, you can make it in 5 groups using the yarn I used. As I said, when you make such plays, you will get the hats in the form you want with the same increasing logic. I say this for adults, but as I said, you can make it larger or smaller as you wish by making changes to the number in the middle here or the number in the increase order. Now I'm starting the same way again. What I will do next is to knit a group of 3 at each intermediate point. Look, let's start from the gap of a chain or the gap in between. It does not matter. You can start from any point you want. Now we change color every 2 rows. I started with the banister. I immediately knit the triple handrail group by hiding this short rope. I got around. Look, we will pass each triple handrail group by sinking into the intermediate space and weave the triple handrail group by sinking into the intermediate space. Look, we don't have an increase anymore. We will make a hole in our hat. Look, I'm passing. I sink into the gap and knit the triple banister group. I hope it was clear and understandable. Now, from now on, look at each of them. We sink into the gap and knit a triple handrail group and proceed to the end of the row. We have come to the end of our turn. In our last blank, we knitted the triple handrail group. Look, after the triple banister comes the point where we first started, and what do? We immediately sink to the top of the first handrail and slide directly without pulling chains, etc. No chains after this. We will directly make our hat hollow. Now see what I said. After knitting a row after the increase row, we get the full measurement. Let's say the crown size for the top gap. Of course, at this point, let's do hand ironing. As you know, knits love their knitters. I hold them like this. Look, I can say 16.5, 17 centimeters. We can say that this diameter at the top point is 17 centimeters. Now from now on, it will start to become more hollow after this row. What are we going to do? Look, 1, 2, 3 chains right here. What were we doing right away? By sinking into this intermediate space, we form the triple banister group by sinking into the space where we slid. We will change color every 2 rows. In the meantime, we will proceed by knitting triple banister groups in the intermediate spaces. The trio always gets stuck like this. We will knit the handrail group like this. Look, there is no increase from now on. I want to show it on the hat I have prepared. The last point we increased is the row we knit now and the row we just started. What did we do? We knit 2 rows here. We made a color transition again. Now we know how we did the color transition. Starting from the gap we want, directly with the handrail. We are starting here. We knitted without increasing. Look, we knitted it with cream. We knitted 2 rows with bass blue again. We knitted it with cream again. We knitted it again in bass blue. That is how many groups will we knit after this row. Look, let's not count this row. We will knit 1, 2, 3 groups. We will knit 1, 2, 3 rows. Our hat will be well pitted. Then we pass the other color and repeat again. We will dip into each intermediate space once and do the same process with our cream color. During the second cream, we will have prepared our increase point. Now let's make our hat sufficiently hollow, as we have described to you, and let's share the measurement here with you. As I said, the thinness, thickness, and difference of your thread. If it shows, when we make it deep enough, if you do it enough to reach our ear level, to our ear line, that is to the middle part of our ear, because when you make the canopy part, the hat will automatically shorten this cupped part by 1-2 centimeters. We do this by calculating it. Now let's make a sufficient depression with the number we have given you. Then let's continue making increases in the canopy part together. At this stage, we have made our hat sufficiently hollow. I want us to repeat this point one more time. After the increase row, we will knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. Now there is a difference in the 10th place. We will make our increase point. In other words, we will actually set the ground for the increase point. I want to, but at this stage, let's give you the measure. So how far will this measure reach? It may come up to the top of our ear, or it may be a little lower. If I were to measure right from the point where we started, again, it measures 17 and 18 centimeters. Its depth is from the top. Now let's combine up to this point and set the increasing order on its basis. We sink to the top of the first railing. Let's remember. We started with the banister. We immediately sink to the top of the banister, take out the loop and slide it. I go up with 1, 2, 3 chains and immediately weave 3 double handrails into this gap. I accept the chain at the beginning as a handrail. Look, I knitted the triple handrail group. I'm filling up. Another look. I will pass the triple banister and sink into the gap, and now I will knit 4 handrail groups at this point. 2, 3, and 4. Look, we will make a group of 4, a group of 3. I knitted 4 handrails. I am knitting 3 handrails for another group, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for another, a group of 4 handrails, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look like this, 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4 until the end of the row. We are progressing. We have come to the end of our row. We started with 3 handrails. We finish our row with 4 handrails. Again, without touching the point, we sink the chain to the top of the handrail, slide it, pull the same finish with a chain, break our rope and move on to our other color. We start our other color with a chain, just like in the other rows. We fill the head of our crochet hook. Now, let's start from the point where the quadruple handrail groups are located. I separate the banister at the beginning like this. Look, I'm sinking between the first and second handrail point of the quadruple handrail group. I knit 3 double handrails at this point. By making the same start again, I will use this intermediate point as the increase point. We need to make 4 handrail groups. This is why. I increased it exactly as in the original. Then I pass the triple banister group, and look, I sink into the gap. And I knit the triple handrail group again. I got around. I skip the triple railing again, sink to this intermediate point, and knit the triple railing again. I fill the triple banister group. When I see 4 handrails, I sink into the wide gap between the first and second handrails and knit 3 groups of handrails at this point. 2, 3 in the same space. Look, we will make the increases this way. I'm filling up. Pass the group of 3 handrails and 3 double handrails into the intermediate space. 2, 3. I'm filling up again. Pass the group of 3 handrails, and again put 3 double handrails in between. A group of 4 handrails welcomes me. I'm filling up. I knit the triple handrail group by sinking into the wide gap between the first handrail and the second handrail. Look, we will continue this way. What do we do next? Then we sink in between, and from now on, this is our last increasing order. So this is the order of increase of the canopy part. Look, I want to show it like this. Look, we made the increases by sinking the intermediate points where the quadruple handrails are, then there is no increase. Look, we will knit 2 rows with our dark color. Now we are knitting our dark color here. In the next row, triple handrail groups are always in between. In the next row, they are always triple handrail groups in between. After knitting 2 colors in a light color, 2 rows are in the last row. Look, after the last increase, we will have finished knitting the shade section in 12, 3, 4, 5 rows. There may be people who want to take a screenshot. Now let's complete this row. In the next rows, we will see the same color in 1 more row, dipping in between. Then we will switch to cream color and knit 2 rows of cream, always dipping in between. Then look, lastly, we will start row by row and finish by knitting a row that we started in dark color. There's a catch to this ending. I will be sharing this with you right away. Look, I explained it from now on, but I wanted to show this part. Now look here, we have finished. In our last blank, we knitted the triple handrail group. After the triple banister comes this intermediate point. We do not skip this intermediate point. Look, we sink to this intermediate point and knit the triple banister group. Look, we finish like this and sink to the top of the first railing. We make our shift, go up 123 chains, go up to the first space between the triple handrail group and knit 3 handrails by counting the handrails in the chain. Look, the next processes will continue the same. We pass the triple handrail and knit our triple handrail point in the intermediate space again. Now we have completed these 2 rows. The second row here is in our white color. We will knit 1 row, and then we will have finished our hat by knitting our kitten's mouth color here. Look here, we have come to the end of our turn. After the increase point, look, after a group of 4 handrails and a group of 3 handrails, then 2 rows of dark color, 2 rows of light color, and finally 1 row of dark color. We continue knitting triple handrail groups in between without any increase. We knitted the canopy part. Now we will knit single crochet in one row. This part is about 7 to 8 centimeters wide, the shade part. Now we will finish and knit a row of single crochet. But look, since we are using cotton yarn in this part, I want to show it in the other hat. When we put the hat on, I will use a material to make it look a bit moldy so that it doesn't fall on our face. Look, this is also called fishing line. It was even used thicker in the original. There are also thick ones, but I had a thin one like this. When you work with this type of cotton rope, you can also use this material with line-on hats or paper rope. If you use this while knitting the last row, it looks like a pattern on the inside. In other words, it does not fall on the face too much and there is no distortion. You can also use this material. I had this in my hand. Sharifa Yengen gave this to me. I would like to thank him again from here. This was his material. He gave it to me so that he could use it someday. I think you can find this material at shoe stores or hobby supply stores. Or you describe the hat you will knit. You can also use a material such as silicone or fishing line on the tip. Metal, etc. are also sold. Maybe you can choose them too. Now look, I have a piece like this in my hand. There is this verse material. Now I'm going to finish. Leave this mischievous material here. Look here, I knitted the last group of handrails. I sink to the top of the first railing and make my slide. After this shift, I take the end of my misna. Look, I'm placing it like this. I put it between the yarn and the crochet hook. He was left in between. I'm pulling a chain right here. I leave it a little longer so that when I finish, I will do it twice. I'll hide it from time to time so it doesn't come out. Now I pulled a chain. I am coming. I immediately sink directly to the top of the first railing. I remove the loop after the chain. Look, the misna falls in between. I'm filling up. I have 2 stitches. I knit single crochet by passing it through 2 stitches. This is the last action we will do. Look, I sink the line to the top of the banister from time to time, and the line remains on the crochet hook again. I take my thread from here. You have 2 stitches. I am knitting single needles. It is better not to knit too tightly like that. Since the line will be in between, we will knit our single needles in this way, by keeping the line in between, by taking the elasticity of the knitting. Look, the line in between. And, you know, we don't have any chains sinking into the top of each banister. This is how we practiced our handrail groups. We will make our last row with single crochet by sinking into the top of each banister. As I finish the line here, I also hide the verse at the end. I want to share this with you quickly. Look, we're nearing the end of our turn here. At this stage, there must be a misna inside. We need to get flexibility. Because if you remove the elasticity after knitting the linen and cutting the linen, then the knitting will open. Mizzen might come out. We don't want this. So, look, I'm lengthening the line a little bit and taking away the flexibility of the knitting. I make a handpiece with my hand and place the linen beautifully on the last row. Now we have come to this point. Look, we will make the mizzen twice. From where? We can also think of this as IP hiding. Look, I'm moving the first end of the misna to this side. The other end is this way. Now we continue knitting with the rope remaining in between. It will come from here. Let's do it this way. Look, he will be stuck in between 2 verses. Here I sink and see. Look at the 2 lines. They are knitted tightly at the same time. They are left in between. After the remaining yarn gets elasticity again, after placing it well, we can easily remove the remaining part. Now, we knit twice as many times and come to the end of the row. Let's do it together quickly. Look at this point, just single needle. By knitting, I don't tighten it too much. I don't leave it too loose, knitting normally on my hand, and now I'm knitting single needle. By sinking into this intermediate point, I've also sunk into the gap. Now at this point, I leave my thread a little longer and cut it in the middle of the stitch. I took out my thread in the ball, then there was the single needle point where we first started. After the chain, I crocheted to this point. I sink, take my thread from here and throw it again into the cut line and outer channel of the single needle at the back and pass the thread through this point. Afterwards, I fix the rope from the back with a chain. After tightening, I will hide this rope by passing it through the appropriate gaps where the handrails are. You can hide this later. I take the flexibility. Look, I make a hand iron and smooth it well with my hand. Then I cut off the excess fishing line point. See if I am cutting the line on this side. There is some left. Let me cut this out too. Now let's place it on our mannequin. Look, the ends look like mold. Now let's share with you the finished version of our model. We completed our hat by putting it on our model. I hope you like it and try it too. I wish good luck to those who will do it. Don't forget to like our video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye until we see you in the next video.